the rookie quarterbacks, knowing that that's a storyline and knowing that there had been a report that, he wasn't even doing scout team. And he said that they have a very, very detailed minute-by-minute plan for both of those guys. And really,
the Cleveland Browns are back in the headlines again. And this time, all eyes are locked on Kevin Stefanski. After weeks of criticism for how he's handled his rookie quarterbacks, the pressure's boiling over. Suddenly, Stefanski's tone is shifting. He's hinting that he's finally ready to give Shedeur Sanders a real shot, and people are buzzing that this could be a last-ditch move to save his crumbling reputation. Rumors are flying that Stefanski could be done in Cleveland by the end of the season, and you can feel the tension crackling through the organization. During a recent interview, he teased a so-called special plan for both Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, and it's got everyone talking. Is he really about to hand the keys to Shedeur, or is this just damage control from a coach cornered by his own decisions? Either way, things are heating up fast in Cleveland, and Stefanski's future is hanging by a thread. Just before the season kicked off, former NFL player TJ Houshmandzadeh made a bold prediction. He warned that Stefanski's loyalty to Joe Flacco would come back to haunt him. And wow, was he right. The Browns' offense looks completely off balance, their rhythm shattered, and their confidence fading by the week. Off the field, things aren't looking any better. Whispers of dysfunction and front office frustration are spreading like wildfire. What once seemed like a safe and steady plan has turned into a public disaster, and now, word is Stefanski might turn to Shedeur Sanders, not because he believes in him, but because he's desperate to keep his job. Sports analyst Ken Carman even questioned why Stefanski waited this long, saying it looks less like strategy and more like panic setting in. The question now is, can Stefanski's sudden change of heart save the Browns season? Or is it just another doomed attempt to protect his image before the clock runs out? Ken Carman didn't hold back. He straight up said Stefanski blew a golden chance to breathe life into a dead-looking offense. From day one, the Browns have looked flat, slow, and predictable. Carman argued that if Shedeur Sanders had been given a real shot, at least the team would have had a spark, some excitement, some energy, something to believe in. But instead, Stefanski doubled down on a system that's clearly falling apart right in front of him. According to Carman, the problem isn't just who's under center, it's the whole offensive design. He called it stale, outdated, and completely lacking the kind of creativity you need to survive in today's NFL. Even with young electric talents like Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel waiting in the wings, they're stuck in a scheme that's choking their potential. Unless Stefanski tears it down and rebuilds it,
his job may be on the line.
I could absolutely see a total house cleaning. And it could happen before the end of the...
And that's the way it felt. Offensively, it's just terrible. And they're wasting everything defensively. And what will happen here, because I don't know if they're going to get it fixed. I don't think they're going to get anything fixed offensively. You could put in Dillon Gabriel, or you could put in Shedeur for a different pace, flavor, seasoning, find out whether or not they got it.
This offense is doomed to keep sputtering week after week. And here's where it gets wild. Stefanski's hesitation to let Shedeur get proper training reps has become the breaking point. Fans were stunned when he benched Sanders from scout team duties and gave those snaps to Bailey Zappe instead. That move lit a firestorm across Cleveland, making people question whether Stefanski even has a plan left or if he's just clinging to control out of fear. The fallout has shaken the locker room in the city. Players are frustrated, the crowd's restless, and insiders say top executives are furious. Sources close to the organization are whispering that if the offense doesn't turn around fast, ownership is ready to hit the reset button, and both Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry could be out the door. To make matters worse, veteran reporter Mary Kay Cabot chimed in and made the criticism even louder. She reminded everyone that the Browns entered this season with 3 goals: dominate on defense, develop their young QBs, and finally build a consistent, high-powered offense. Only one of those boxes has been checked: the defense. The rest? A total mess. Cabot warned that if this imbalance keeps up, ownership might have no choice but to clean house completely. And soon,
Not even running scout team. He's literally watching everyone play. Bailey Zappi's running the scout team. I don't know if that's true. That's what I'm hearing. Why is he on the team? Why is he even here? If that's what you think about, because his jersey.
If the chaos keeps snowballing, a massive shakeup could be coming. And not just on the sidelines. Insiders are whispering that a total leadership overhaul might be on the horizon, with a brand new group stepping in to rebuild the Browns from the ground up, a full reset, new vision, new direction, new everything. The kind of move that screams desperation, but also signals that Cleveland's ownership is done watching this slow-motion collapse. Mary Kay Cabot wasn't finished stirring things up either. She went straight for the Browns' entire preseason strategy and called it out for being a complete mess. She asked the obvious question everyone's been thinking. If Joe Flacco was always the plan as quarterback one, why wasn't he actually getting the practice time to build chemistry with his top targets like Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman? Instead, those crucial reps went to Kenny Pickett, a guy who was already halfway out the door. When the season kicked off, the results were exactly what Cabot warned about: confusion, misreads, and total chaos on the field. Flacco and his receivers looked like strangers meeting for the first time every Sunday. Passes were off, timing was sloppy, and the offense kept tripping over itself week after week. Cabot said it best: a good offense lives on rhythm and trust between the quarterback and his playmakers, and right now the Browns have neither. But she didn't stop there. Cabot also slammed Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry for pulling what she called a four-way quarterback circus. A competition so chaotic, it might have sabotaged the team from the inside out. And now, the pressure in Cleveland is reaching boiling point. New reports are swirling that Shedeur Sanders could be looking for an escape route, and if that's true, things in Cleveland are about to explode even more. Insiders are saying the Cincinnati Bengals are circling like hawks, keeping a very close eye on the growing chaos in Cleveland. Whispers are spreading fast that a potential trade for Shedeur Sanders could be on the table, and if that happens, it would send shockwaves through the league. Losing Shedeur wouldn't just sting.
They were going to play good defense this year, run the ball, and then try to get good, clean quarterback play. Only one of those three things has happened so far, and that's the really good defense. Now they've got to get the offense. Seen the timing and the consistency yet between Joe and Jerry Jeudy. Joe and Cedric Tillman. He was 2 of 7 targets in this past game. He was stumbling and falling down. So we just haven't seen that yet. And Joe, I don't think he had enough time on task in preseason with these guys. It happened in the final 2 weeks of camp. But
it would throw the Browns' entire quarterback situation straight back into chaos and possibly send their whole season spiraling out of control. And here's where it gets even juicier. Reports claim Sanders is seriously considering his options. With Joe Burrow currently sidelined, the Bengals might be desperate enough to make a bold move. Even though Cincinnati's sitting at 2-0, they know they can't risk losing momentum. Sources inside the league believe the Bengals see Shedeur as a long-term fix, a young quarterback who could keep their Super Bowl hopes alive while Burrow recovers. From Shedeur's perspective, the opportunity couldn't look more tempting. Imagine stepping out of Cleveland's drama and into a stable, playoff-ready environment. It's the kind of move that could take his career to a whole new level. With all the dysfunction surrounding the Browns right now, who could blame him for wanting out? Browns insider Ken Carman didn't sugarcoat a thing. He called this stretch one of the darkest periods the franchise has faced in years. He reminded everyone,
four-way quarterback competition, I think, hurt everyone. And you can't do that. I hope they learn their lesson that you can't conduct a quarterback competition in training camp. You've got to get that figured out before you get to camp. You have to know who your quarterback is.
That the Browns ended last season on a brutal 6-game losing streak, and now they've opened this one with 2 more straight losses. That's 8 defeats in a row, and even the most diehard fans are running out of patience. Sports analyst Anthony Lima piled on too, warning that the signs of collapse are flashing bright red. He said if the Browns don't find some kind of spark soon, a massive midseason shakeup could be unavoidable. That means both Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry could be cleaning out their offices before the holidays. Right now, Stefanski is trying to act like he's got everything under control, but no one's buying it. Behind the scenes, doubts are growing, tempers are rising, and the entire organization feels like it's one bad game away from total meltdown. Behind closed doors, tensions are at an all-time high, and Kevin Stefanski's confidence looks more like a performance than reality. Sources say the locker room energy has shifted. Players are whispering, coaches are frustrated, and Shedeur Sanders' body language says it all. He's tired of being treated like an afterthought. The man's been grinding, showing up early, putting in extra hours, and yet it's like the staff refuses to see it. Fans can feel it too. That uneasy vibe that something big is about to crack in Cleveland. Multiple insiders claim Stefanski's leadership has fractured the locker room. Some players still back him, but others are openly questioning his choices. Even a few veterans who once defended him are reportedly fed up with the mixed signals and stale play calling. It's reached the point where every press conference sounds more like damage control than direction. Meanwhile, Shedeur's name keeps dominating sports talk shows. Analysts are calling him the future Cleveland keeps tripping over. They're saying the kid has all the tools, arm strength, pocket awareness, and leadership. But Stefanski's stubbornness is holding him hostage. If he were on any other team, he'd already be starting and possibly shining under the bright lights. One source close to the team even dropped a bombshell, claiming that Shedeur's patience is running out. That's huge, because if Sanders decides to check out mentally, the Browns could lose the one player who still brings hope to their fan base. Cleveland's front office is now under heavy pressure to fix things before it's too late.
Story of the day, obviously. Joe Burrow has a turf toe injury that will require surgery. He will be sidelined for a minimum of 3 months. Typically, this is a 12 to 14-week recovery period.
And bring in Shedeur Sanders, not saying start him immediately, make him the backup because he's going to be there.
Insiders are whispering that ownership is already exploring options behind the scenes. If this losing streak continues, a mid-season coaching change might not just be a rumor. It could become reality overnight. Stefanski's trying to project calm, but his seat's on fire, and everyone knows it. The next few games might decide not just his future, but the entire direction of the franchise. The cracks in Cleveland are no longer rumors. They're wide open for everyone to see. Reports say team meetings have turned tense, with raised voices and frustrated stares filling the room. Players are reportedly fed up with mixed messages from the coaching staff, and some feel like they're being thrown under the bus every time a loss piles up. One insider even described the atmosphere as cold and divided, saying trust inside the locker room is fading fast. At the center of it all sits Shedeur Sanders, the rookie, who's somehow become both the spark of hope and the symbol of dysfunction. People close to him say he's trying to stay professional, but deep down, he's frustrated too. He knows he's ready to play, ready to lead, but feels like politics are keeping him sidelined. And every week he's benched, the tension builds louder, especially with fans chanting his name louder than ever during games. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski's press appearances have become a circus of excuses. He talks about process and long-term vision, but fans aren't buying it anymore. They want wins, not buzzwords. Analysts across the league are roasting his lack of adaptability, saying he's running the same tired schemes while pretending everything's fine. And let's not forget the front office. GM Andrew Berry's silence is starting to look like guilt, like he knows this season is slipping through his fingers. Reports suggest ownership has already started talking to outside advisors, trying to figure out how to stabilize the franchise before it implodes completely. As the losses pile up, Cleveland's once loyal fan base is reaching a breaking point. They're calling radio shows, flooding social media, and demanding answers, demanding change.
If that's the storyline, and knowing that there had been a report that, he wasn't even doing scout team. And he said that they have a very, very detailed minute-by-minute plan for both of those guys. And really, all
the Browns can't hide from it anymore. Something major is coming. Whether it's a quarterback switch, a coaching shakeup, or a total reset, this story's about to hit its boiling point. And nobody's walking out of it unscathed. The pressure in Cleveland has reached a breaking point, and now the entire city's on edge. Every headline, every tweet, every sideline camera angle tells the same story. This team's falling apart in real time. Kevin Stefanski is trying to hold it together, but even his closest allies are starting to distance themselves. Sources claim some assistants have quietly started preparing resumes, just in case the inevitable happens. When your own staff starts planning for life after you, the writing's on the wall. Shedeur Sanders, meanwhile, is keeping quiet publicly, but sending messages through his play and body language. Every throw in practice, every extra rep, every sideline moment, it's all saying, "I'm ready." He's proving his point without saying a word. Yet somehow Stefanski's still hesitating, almost like he's scared of what will happen if Shedeur actually gets the spotlight and outshines his chosen starters. Insiders say that fear might be the real reason behind all this chaos. Stefanski's ego. Some believe he's more worried about being proven wrong than about winning games. If true, that's a dangerous mindset for any head coach, especially one already dangling on the edge of being fired. Meanwhile, fans aren't waiting around. They're flooding social media with hashtags calling for Stefanski's removal. Even former Browns players are chiming in, saying it's time for new leadership and a fresh approach before the entire locker room gives up. The tension between the coaching staff, the players, and the front office has never felt this explosive. And the irony? Through all the drama, Shedeur's stock keeps rising. The league's watching him closer than ever. Teams that once ignored him are now scouting his every move, waiting for Cleveland to slip up and let him go. If the Browns don't act fast, they might lose more than just a season. They could lose their future. Fans are bracing for whatever happens next because everyone knows something big is coming. Whether it's a trade, a firing, or an internal implosion, Cleveland's about to make headlines again. And this time, it might be for all the wrong reasons. Ross Tucker just dropped another bombshell. He's reporting that Kevin Stefanski is suddenly pitching this structured plan for Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and the rest of the rookies. He's calling it part of his grand long-term vision for the Browns, saying everything's under control and going according to plan. But let's be real, not many people are buying it. Insiders are already rolling their eyes, calling it what it looks like, a PR move. They say Stefanski's just trying to calm the storm, spin the headlines, and make it seem like he's got a blueprint when really he's scrambling to hold his job together. Fans aren't fooled either. Social media's on fire, with people pointing out how this vision keeps changing every week depending on how bad the last loss was. It's hard not to see the desperation creeping in. The team's performance is flat, the locker room feels fractured, and even the players look unsure about where things are headed. Stefanski's tone in interviews has shifted too. Less confident, more defensive. He's talking like a man trying to convince himself that everything's fine when the walls are clearly closing in. And here's the wild part. The more he talks about the process, the worse things seem to get. Each week, the Browns look further from that supposed long-term plan and closer to total confusion. The offense still can't find rhythm, and every game feels like deja vu. Same mistakes, same excuses, same frustration. Now, the question hanging over Cleveland is simple. How much longer can this go on? Is Stefanski truly guiding the team toward a brighter future, or is he just buying time before ownership finally steps in? Because the way things are looking, that clock is ticking fast. What do you think, Browns fans? Is Stefanski fooling everyone with his so-called plan, or is there still hope he can turn this around? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on the next one.